What's up YouTube, Kristo here, and I've got a video for you. A review, my first review in a long time. So I wanted to talk about something really special. Going to be looking at Rose de Taif from Perris Monte Carlo. This is a very recent niche house whose whole shtick, it seems, is to make the most authentic Middle Eastern or Arab style perfumes that they can according to European regulation. Europe has very strict regulations when it comes to what you can and cannot use in fragrances. The Middle East being much more laxed. Most of the world really is much more laxed when it comes to what you can and can't use in fragrances. So basically, they're trying to make the most authentic Middle Eastern fragrances they can while still sticking to European guidelines, which I think is great because at the moment, Middle Eastern Arab perfume is really hot. Rose, oud, resins, things like that are like the most popular trendy notes. I'm a huge fan of rose as well. So this is a house that I'm very interested in at the moment. Now, there's actually not that much on Perris Monte Carlo online. It was a very difficult house to research. And in fact, the only place I could find concrete info about them was actually on the Neiman Marcus website, where they have some of their fragrances for sale. That's where I read the little blurb about, them trying to make authentic Middle Eastern fragrances, blah like that. So I got my note breakdown from there. Very close to Fragrantica's, but slight little differences. They even had the percentages used for the ingredients, so I took them straight from there because I think they're pretty accurate. I've got rose oil at 7%, rose absolute at 30%, Egyptian geranium essential oil at 2%, Indonesian elemi at 3%, Indian nutmeg at 1%, lemon essential oil at 2%, clove essential oil at 1%. Now, the only thing I really don't pick much up of is the clove, which is good for me because clove is actually one of my most detested notes in fragrances. The big three, though, definitely are the rose, the lemon, and the geranium. Without a doubt, those are like straight from the beginning and for most of the life of this fragrance. Now, what does this remind me of? This reminds me of, well, imagine sitting on an international flight, sitting next to a very well-dressed, well-groomed Middle Eastern gentleman wearing traditional Middle Eastern garb. That's exactly what this would remind me of, something that he would be wearing. Just beautiful, exotic, classy. I really think that Perris Monte Carlo have done justice to Middle Eastern rose fragrances. I've talked to many people of Middle Eastern descent or people who traveled through the Middle East, and they just said, you Westerners just can't do it. These Western fragrance houses just can't do rose and oud like the Middle Easterners can. And these are often Middle Easterners with little or no formal training in perfumery. It's just kind of handed down from, father to son kind of thing. And this is definitely the best, especially for the price. Online on the Neiman Marcus website, they have it listed as $180 for 100 ml. And when you look at a lot of the exclusive or niche fragrance houses that are doing Middle Eastern roses, they're often $200, $250, $300 for a similar sort of thing. And honestly, they're just not as good. You can tell there's no soul in them. They were made by someone who doesn't really understand or is just trying to make something for the Western market. Not saying that they're bad, but this is just so much better and I think so much more authentic than pretty much every other Arab rose fragrance I've ever tried from a mainstream Western house. In terms of the specifics on this, looking at projection, longevity, and whatnot, excellent. Projection, crazy. If I wore 2 or 3 sprays of this, within a couple minutes, I would fill a small room. It would just be, radiating off of me. It's got excellent projection. Longevity, excellent as well. At least 10 hours. This is a very, very strong, very potent fragrance. In terms of season, part of the reason I actually waited to do this now, because I think this is perfect for the autumn. Should be here pretty soon. I think in a lot of parts of North America, autumn's already come, but yeah, this is definitely a fragrance for the autumn. Definitely winter as well, but to me, it's just autumnal through and through. Now, in terms of age and gender, it's interesting because Western perfumery usually views rose as a feminine note, where Middle Eastern perfume actually views it as a masculine note, which is kind of a historical religious thing. But to me, if you have the Western ideal of rose, I think this is definitely a unisex fragrance. Of course, there's going to be gentlemen out there that think it's too feminine because there's rose, and there's going to be some ladies out there that's going to think it's too masculine because of kind of the heavy, earthy, flinty, resinous qualities it has. But I really do think this is a pretty unisex fragrance. It's just, if you're into Middle Eastern roses, gotta try this. You really, really have to try it. Yeah, age, kind of the same. Definitely not going to be for the younger gentleman. It is a bit strange, especially if you've never really come in contact with Middle Eastern rose fragrances. It's probably gonna repulse some of the younger gentlemen or ladies perhaps, but yeah, I'm gonna say this is gonna be kind of a 30 plus, more than likely. There's always exceptions to the rule though. I should mention, I kind of forgot, I read some strange comparisons to this online. No one really saying anything bad about it, but just the comparisons that they're drawing between this and what's it called? Citronella candle. Now, if you're not familiar with a citronella candle, it's a large yellow candle that people usually burn in the summertime to keep mosquitoes away. And it does, obviously, from the name, have a lot of, heavy, dark lemon citrus smell to it. I can kind of see a similarity, but I think that's really, really selling this fragrance short. The difference between a $10 citronella candle and, this beautiful fragrance, I think it's just way too different to compare. Maybe take that and add a lot of extra things on and up the quality a lot. But yeah, I don't know, kind of a unfair comparison in my opinion. Overall thoughts on this, I'm very, very happy with this. Part of the reason I got such a good price on the bottle, I did buy it from a Facebook friend. I've sold him things and he sold me things before, so we have a pretty close connection on Facebook, and we talk about fragrances a lot. I got a very good price on it, shipped to Indonesia from the United States. Thank you so much, Jay, if you're watching. But I promised him that I would review it when I got it, because he definitely, even though he was selling it, he said, people need to know about this, and I totally agree with him. Definitely want to try some more fragrances from the house. There's really not much I can say bad about this fragrance, perhaps other than the availability. It seems really hard to get a hold of. Look around. If you're in the States, check out Neiman Marcus. If you're in Europe, I'm sure you can get a hold of it on some of the, German niche perfume websites and whatnot. But yeah, this is definitely a fragrance I think needs attention, especially now with the Middle Eastern fad. I'm really, really interested to try some more fragrances from Perris Monte Carlo. There's some more attention getting drawn to this house. I think it deserves it personally. So, have you tried Rose de Taif? Have you tried anything else from PMC? What are your thoughts, your opinions? let us know. Comment down below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you again soon.